I think it's fair to say Sonic has been on the decline for a while. Minus a couple of gems with colors and generations, Sonic hasn't had a really good game since the early 2000s. However, some people really like Sonic, and nobody needs to be a great game. Christian Whitehead already took over development on Sonic Mania, so that leaves Galaxy Trail, a startup indie company focused on developing retro platformers. They started their game development on Kickstarter, with a giant tribute to the 16-bit era, and that game was called Freedom Planet is a gorgeous game with a beautiful 16-bit based graphic style. However, let's just get the negative of the art out of the way right now. The character design. Most of the characters look quite good, but unfortunately some characters, such as Lilac and some of the enemies, just aren't strong designs. Lilac's design definitely looks more like a hedgehog than a dragon. Other than minor hiccups in the character design department, everything else graphics-wise is superb. The backgrounds are vibrant and beautiful. The way some stages transition between sections is really cool. Take the second stage for example. You go from the outside to inside a mine using an elevator ride. The character spriting is also really well done and has great and fluid animations. My favorite part about this game is its soundtrack. It's so good. Not a single song here drops the ball. Every track is upbeat, atmospheric, and complete. They are really fantastic songs to listen to while doing anything, even in real life. I'm gonna give Freedom Planet's presentation a 9 out of 10. The main gameplay in Freedom Planet is reminiscent of Sonic games from the 16-bit era. You have to get from the beginning of the stage to the end, fighting enemies, bosses, and jumping around trying to find secrets. Each stage feels different, and have their own different ways of getting around with the characters. There are 3 different gameplay styles in Freedom Planet, each stemming from one of the 3 different characters. The first gameplay style in Freedom Planet comes from Sash Lilac, the last remaining water dragon who has to fight an alien race from trying to steal her planet's main source of energy, the Kingdom Stone. By herself, Lilac is easily the quickest runner out of all the 3 characters. She can also perform an air spin move, allowing her to bounce off of walls at a ridiculously high speed. One of my main problems with this is, well, the controls. You get next to none using it. You can go up to 4 directions with it, left, right, or at a left and right diagonal. You can't go straight up. I don't understand why. It would seriously help with some section you find in Lilac stages. Using the spin move uses up all of your spin meter, and you can't do it in mid-air and change your direction. It's such a dumb design. Speaking of the special move meter, almost every character, except for one, has one. And underneath the meter is your health. Each character has different amounts of health. Lilac has another move that uses up some of your special meter. It's a hairspin attack that you can use on the ground, which I don't know how, and in the air. When used in the air, it can allow you to gain some vertical distance. Lilac also has a series of basic punches and kicks that can be different depending on if you use them in the air or on the ground. The next character is Carol T, Lilac's best friend who is only tagging along so that she can help out Lilac. She's not as quick as Lilac by herself, but she has different abilities. Her main abilities include a wall jump similar to Mega Man X, and the ability to jump off of these red platforms. I don't know why, but she can. She can also pounce, she's a cat, and use her claws as her main attack. She uses her special meter to use a stronger claw attack. It's quite a bit less powerful than Lilac's dash, but it can be used more than once on a full meter. Carol can also roll up into a ball like Sonic for no reason. It does nothing. Don't do it. Carol can also grab a gas can, and with it she gets a motorcycle. I don't know from where, but she does. And you can drive up walls. It also gives her a double jump, and she can still attack on the bike. Basically, get the bike and don't lose it. The final character is Milla. In order to unlock Milla's story, you need to beat the second stage of the game, Relic Maze. Milla is found by Lilac and Carol after she helps Carol escape the falling ruins. She then tags along for the rest of the journey. Milla is slower on foot than Carol. She doesn't have a special bar, but instead has two main attacks. Firstly, she can form a shield that can be used to block projectiles, and spikes out into an attack when let go of. She can also make a block out of thin air. She can use it to throw at enemies. She can spike it out as well for momentum. I might also mention that there's a fourth character who is not, and will never be, officially released. It's Torque. He basically plays like a Gunstar Heroes type character, but unfortunately he was cancelled when put in beta, so you'll never actually get to play as him in Freedom Planet. I had the most fun playing as Carol, as I think it's super rewarding to search the stage and finally find the motorcycle and blast through all the competition. I'm also going to mention how cool all the boss fights are. They really stand out and they're all different. However, I do have some problems with the gameplay. Firstly, the levels were not made for Milla. She will have trouble with some of the bosses and stages. Some, however, she'll blast through, and because of this she feels very unbalanced. Secondly, the physics feel broken. Why can I do this? Game? Game! Help! Other than that, the game feels very fast paced and overall quite great. I give the gameplay an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna come right now and say it, Freedom Planet's story is annoying and overdone. It interrupts the gameplay too much and is just too long. I'm not going to be going over everything, just the beginning. There's a bad guy, his name is Brevin. He's stranded on Lilac's planet. He decides to break into a palace to see if he can gather its energy. He executes the king in front of the sun, and then brainwashes the sun, his name is Prince Dale by the way, into doing his bidding. You're then thrown straight into exposition. One of the main problems with the story is that it fails to make use of its medium. It's show, don't tell, and all Freedom Planet does is tell. This is a huge annoyance. Another thing it gets wrong is tone. There are multiple instances where the tone fluctuates really hard, especially the intro. A dad gets executed in front of his kid, but then it goes right into happy fun times. What? That makes no sense. There are moments later on where main characters almost die, yet we go straight into happy fun times. It makes no sense. The overall tone is not apparent through the story. There's just too much to the story. That's why I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. It's unfocused. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Before we wrap this up, there are some loose ends that need to be tied. First off, there was another character that was announced for the game, but he'll never be playable unless you hack. It's Spade. Spade is one of the main characters from the game, and he was a stretch goal for the Kickstarter, like Torque. However, unlike Torque, he never reached full development stages. Thusly, he's only available through hacking. Secondly, I did not unlock Torque's adventure mode, which is why I did not review the character. Also, I wouldn't have reviewed him anyway, because he is not available in the full game. Overall, Freedom Planet is great. It has incredible presentation and great gameplay, however, it is bogged down by an unfortunately mediocre story. Really, if the story was rewritten and less fleshed out, which I hate that I have to say, if it was a less fleshed out story, it would be much better. I'd have a reason to give the game a 9 or a 10, but it isn't. So because of that, I have to give Freedom Planet a 7.5 out of 10.